I traveled to my favorite valley to run the very first 10k of my life. In this video, I talk about a few things I did right, a few things I did wrong before my run. A very good evening from Bir Billing, Himachal Pradesh. Exactly 5 years ago, I visited this place for the very first time and I fell in love within the first few hours. I've taken numerous trips since then. I've come here with multiple friends of mine. I've literally lost count of the times I've been here. But I'm so glad that this was the place that I ran my very first 10-kilometer race or run, whatever you want to call it. Earlier this morning, me and my friend who I started running with 4 years ago, we finished a 10-kilometer run. There was a half marathon, 10k and 5k organized here in Bir Billing. To my surprise, I finished in 1 hour 4 minutes something, and I came fourth, which was just astonishing to me. As like right when I finished it, this was my first time running 10 kilometers. I've never covered that distance. The max I've ran is I think 8 kilometers, but I'm glad that I covered that distance in this beautiful valley. Goes without saying, but I'm not a coach or a running expert. I'm just a dude who's been running since the past 4 years. The following tips are more like reminders to myself. First things first, eat light and sleep well. Exactly what your parents have been telling you since you were a little kid, that eat good food and get a good night's sleep. So I was well rested, and I slept for a good 6 hours, so I was well rested. I was excited and energized for the run, but I overate the night before. I had late dinner and I ate a lot, and as a result I could feel this heaviness in my body, and of course that wasn't a pleasant experience. I try and avoid that for the most part, but I made this mistake this time, and something I wouldn't repeat myself. Bye. I gotta run. Okay then. We have a pacer. This was easily my favorite part of the run. Right at the 7-kilometer mark, I was getting tired and I had started walking. That's when this dog came out of nowhere and just ran with me for the next 1 kilometer. I really believe the first half of preparation is the good diet and the good sleep, and the second half is mindset. Once you're doing okay up here, you're good to go. And even if you're not doing okay, I think personally, I've been running for 4 years, and when I've gone on runs when I don't feel like it, and I've ran regardless of what I feel like, those have often been one of the best runs. Because let's say I'm overthinking, so on those days I end up running a lot, since I lose track of time and I run a farther distance. You can be angry, sad, frustrated, happy. Once you learn how to channel those emotions into physical energy, I think that works as a really nice fuel for your run. Playlist. Make one. Someday I aspire to run without depending on any music. I've done that in the past back home. I've tried running on the beach without music and in the mountains as well. And even though it's beautiful, like listening to the sounds of nature or wherever you are, it is an amazing feeling. You're completely present in the location where you're at. But since this was a long distance, at least for me, I needed music to push myself. And since I had not made a playlist for the most part of the run, I was running with my phone in my hand, or I was constantly putting it in my running tights or taking it out, changing music. So I think that really threw me off my game, and I wasn't completely present sometimes, especially when I was doing that. So I would suggest make a playlist and just with your hands and mind free, like run with your hands and mind free. And even though I listen to music before the run as well, but I try and find an empty corner, like a quiet corner, and just meditate for 5 minutes before the run. I think being like with your thoughts right before the run can do wonders for you. And even though I've been saying that this was my first time running a 10-kilometer run, I don't think I was underprepared because I've been running since the past 4 years. And I started with running like 1 or 2 kilometers every single day. I mean, of course, I miss a few days. I'm human and life gets in the way. But I think my mind and my body was prepared for this distance. I've tried to increase my distance and my pace over a period of, years. So luckily, I've never faced any injuries. So if you want to avoid injuries as well, which I'm sure you would, just take it easy and gradually increase your distance or your pace. What up, what up?
So you would have just pushed it, killed it. तो तेरे को पता थोड़ी ना है कि क्या हो रहा है.
How are you feeling?
Too good, bro. I feel like I just killed someone. Sorry, bro, not too good for you.
Says the lawyer.
The tricky part in the descent is to keep a soft foot down.
Yeah.
Which was very challenging because you're pat करके आप जा रहे हो and you're hurting yourself. So that's something.
But good work. Good decision to come. Very spontaneous plan.
For sure.
Glad we did. And last but definitely not the least, run with a friend. I really wish my friend Fofo, who I was running with, was here with me, but I'm recording this 2 days after the race, so he's gone back home. He took a bus back home. I think his presence definitely made a difference. Made the whole experience more fun, and I think somewhere or the other, his presence made me, push my own limits. And if you don't have a friend who runs, like, you can make... Oh God, this camera is heavy. I'm not used to this. If you don't have a friend who runs, you can make them at such events. These runs are a great way to meet like-minded people. I met a guy here right before the run, and who was running as well, the 10K. And we started talking, and turns out he's from Delhi as well, and he keeps running, long distance, like 10-15 kilometers as well. So and for the coming weekend, we've already planned a run. So yeah. At the end of the day, these runs are races against yourself and not other people. And you're really trying to see how far you can go, how far you can push your limits. And there is no better space, like there is no better place than these such events where you get this sense of community, where you're around like-minded people and you're straight up having a good time running at sunrise. So yeah, and for the longest time I didn't take part in this. Like for the first 2 years I was not taking myself as a runner that seriously, and then the next 2 years the pandemic hit and these runs were not happening. So now you can take part in them, so you must. With that, I think it's time for me to head back home and train for the next run. Bye. Thanks to my creator friend Pulkit, who was kind enough to give me his lens, and that's what I've been shooting on for the most part of this video. So thanks to him. Hi, this is Prateek from the future. That was April, we're in June right now, and I went back to Beer in the month of May to run my very first 11K. This time I ate less the night before, slept well, made a playlist, and finished the 11K in 1 hour and 9 minutes something, and came fourth again. This time my partner was there to cheer me as well, and my friend from the last run was running his half marathon. And I also ran with the same dog, so that was fun. All in all, it was a nice and easy run, and I couldn't have asked for a better experience. If you're someone who's just started running or planning to go for their very first 5 or 10K, I hope this video was helpful. And if it was, it's time to go for that run. Also, don't half-ass it. Announce that you're a fucking runner, that you're an athlete. Once you attach something to your identity like that, you take it more seriously. Like suddenly you're not a guy who just goes for a run, you're a runner. And I know you're not like making money out of running and it's not your profession, but I don't know, it just helped me the day I considered myself like an athlete and I lived my life according to that. The sleep, diet and everything else, I just took it more seriously once I started believing that I'm an athlete as well. So yeah, and the discipline to go for a run every single day would just follow once you start believing in that lie.